Lazaro Sopina just recently got married to a lovely woman by the name of Han Din. And she really, really loves her last name. She is attached to it, so she didn't want to change her last name when they got married. However, Lazaro doesn't really care too much about his last name, so he was willing to change his last name to his wife's last name. So he went through everything necessary to do so. You know, he went to the DMV, he filed the paperwork, he did whatever he needed to do to legally change his last name. Only there's one problem in the state of Florida. As a man, you can't do that.
It's just shocking.
He got charged with fraud. He was accused of fraud. More than a year later, he received a letter from Florida's DMV accusing him of obtaining a driver's license by fraud and letting him know his license would soon be suspended. And by the way, his driver's license did get suspended. And as I said, it's because of the fact that Florida does not recognize men that want to change their last names to their wives' last names. In fact, when he went forward to a judge, the judge said that only works for women.
Yeah. He would have to go to court to change his name legally, even though he already got it changed on his passport and his social security card and his bank account and his credit cards. And yet that's not really good enough. It's not good enough for the Florida DMV. No, it's got to be legally going to court to do this, which is an additional cost, which seems like it's an unfair burden on men if they should want to do so.
Yeah.
And only, was it 9 states
only
allow
9 states.
a man to change his name after marriage in the same manner as a woman?
Right. Those 9 states are California, New York, Hawaii, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Oregon, Iowa, Georgia, and North Dakota. But it brings another really important question, you know, to this discussion. What happens when states start to legalize same-sex marriage? Like why is it that men can't change their last name? Now, I'm not advocating that men change their last name. Do whatever you want. But at the same time, if you make the decision to do so, why is it so difficult? Why are you holding on to like these traditional, you know?
Well, in essence, they're making it against the law for a man in these other states that you know, they're saying you cannot do that, which to me is just a very odd and another paternalistic holdover from the 19th century that, oh, you know, only women have to do this. And especially as you mentioned with the gay marriage laws, you know, there are only 3 states that allow gay marriage right now, if I remember correctly. But that, you know, it's obviously the tide is turning and it's spreading throughout. So we're going to see, I think, a lot more of these issues coming up as we try to change the laws to match with the culture. Because, you know, obviously these laws are 20, 30, 50 years behind where the culture is.